I mean, you ain't heard? I'm like a man smoking at a gas station.
What that mean?
I'm about to blow up!
Yo, what's up, man? You tuned in to another episode of the Smoking at a Gas Station podcast. Guys, thank you, man. I really appreciate it. I know I say it every episode. I really do. I really appreciate you guys tuning in. This episode, I interviewed one of my friends, somebody that I look up to now, somebody that's always, went against the grain. And doing this interview with him, having this conversation, just really helped me learn new things about him, and just allowed me to, look at him in a different way. So I encourage everybody, man. I hope this podcast is letting you know how important communication is, man. Talk to your family, man. Talk to your friends. Don't just assume that you know what's going on with them. I think that's what the problem is a lot of times, it's a lack of communication. Talk to the people around you, man. You'd be surprised on how they feel, some of the things that they went through, and some of the things that they're struggling with. So, don't be afraid to talk to people, man. But this episode, man, is dope, man. It's my boy Antwyan. He's an actor. He's an up-and-coming comedian. He's just somebody that's always, did what he's passionate about. He has a dope story, a story I wasn't even expecting to get, but he has some great insights on some things, so I hope you guys learn a lot. Hope you guys get a lot from this episode. Again, thank you for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel. We post the videos on there. Also, Instagram, Smoking Podcast on Instagram. What else? Oh, the website's coming. We got some other big things coming. I really appreciate you guys' support. I know I've been slacking on a couple things, but I got some things brewing. So thanks for supporting. Share the podcast and just pass it along. Maybe it'll help somebody else. All right, appreciate you, man. I'll let you at the end of the podcast. Peace. I introduce you or not, man?
Oh, my bad. Go ahead.
Hey, man.
My bad.
Yeah, so thank you for tuning in today, man. I got somebody that, believe it or not, man, I look up to this dude, man. He probably didn't know that, you know what I'm saying? But he inspired me to, take risks and to do things, that's not normal. There's somebody that I know that's been grinding, man. He's wore many hats. He was a photographer, probably still is a photographer, comedian, I don't know if he's made it on stage yet. An actor, man, a salesman. He even tried to play basketball a little bit. But somebody that I really genuinely want to sit down and talk to, because I really think, man, he's living in his purpose right now. He's doing something that he loves to do. At the same time, probably having to do things he doesn't want to do just so he can achieve his goals. So, how do you want to be introduced? Because I know you as Antwyan Newsom. Let's give him a hand clap. Is that is that a good name?
Man, that's a good enough name for me, man. My mama gave me that name, so I think I'm going to go ahead and stick with that for now. I thought about changing it, but I was mad at her that day. I'm going to keep it like that right now.
Man, so, okay, speaking about your mom, man, where you from, man? Where you grew up at?
Man, I grew up in Rockford, Illinois. It's like right outside of Chicago.
Okay.
Like many people may not know where Chicago is, but, Rockford, they know what Rockford is. They don't know where Chicago is, though, So, like, right there.
Yeah, okay. So, you were born and raised in Rockford?
Right.
Were you only child?
Nah, man, I have an older brother. He's like 3.5 years older than me. And I have a little brother. But my little brother is my blood cousin, but my mom adopted him.
Okay.
So he's like my little brother.
I was about to say, man, that's a little...
Yeah, he came out of nowhere. Like, I didn't know nobody who started off with a little brother at the age of 11. You just start off with a little brother, like you can warm up to it.
So you were speaking of that, what was you like when you was 11? You was about 10.
When I was 11?
10 or 11.
when I was 11, I was a nerd. I was video game.
Yeah.
Man, I was weird.
Yeah.
I was a weird 11-year-old, but I think everybody was weird when they was 11. You think back when you was 11?
I wasn't weird.
You wasn't?
Nah,
You probably got a clear memory. Yours was a couple years ago when you was 11. But, like, when I was 11,
yeah.
man, it was so long ago, man.
So did you you had a normal goal like everybody else? I want to make it to the NBA, or I want to be a
No, I
video
told you I was weird. Like, I had realistic goals.
Yeah.
Like, you know, everybody around me, I seen they was failing at that goal. I was like, I don't want that goal. Give me a different one.
Yeah.
So like, I wanted to play baseball, actually.
Okay.
I was like opposite of everybody that was around me. Everybody around me wanted to play basketball. I wanted to play baseball. And I wasn't even that good at baseball. I just wanted to do something different.
Yeah.
I should stay with it, though. I didn't realize they made way more money than basketball players.
A lot of money, though.
Yeah. And believe it or not, I started playing basketball, and I started off as a shooter.
Yeah.
Dropping jump shots. Yeah, that changed a little bit.
That's hard to
Yeah,
believe
it changed a little bit now. Like, you know, just a little bit. Just a little bit, you know.
So, all right, man. So, what was that like growing up? Do you remember, like, growing up in Rockford, like, around teenage years? Or?
Yeah, man. My teenage years was rough, man. You know, I kind of tell this story now. A lot of people don't know this about me.
Yeah.
So, you get this exclusive on this radio show.
Yeah. Podcast.
Before the lights. I'm telling you, because once I get on, it's going to be hard to get me to sit down. It was almost hard today.
Yeah,
it was almost hard today. I'm telling you that right now.
Man, just tell the story.
Okay,
man.
my bad. I just had to let you know. So, you know what I'm saying? My teenage years, man, were rough. So I grew up without a father.
Yeah.
I guess that's pretty normal.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, and my mom was on drugs. She nobody really knows that, but she was on drugs, and I was going through that as a teenager, trying to figure all that out. Basically, become my own parent, and teenage years was a lot of raising myself, trying to figure it out. So, you know, it kind of helped me today, which made me who I am today. But man, that's dangerous the way to figure that out.
So what was that like? When did you first know, like okay, I got to do this myself? I don't really have a support system like everybody else.
Man, you might think I was being funny, but when I got hungry, like I was hungry, like I was starving. So, you know, I would go days without eating.
Yeah.
So it's like, man, you know, I got to figure this out. Like I got to eat, you know. So, I mean, it was a lot of stuff going on around that time. My mom, it ain't like she was just doing it. It was just like my grandmother passed away when I was a teenager, and my mom was really close to my grandmother. She's the older child,
Yeah.
and her had this bond, but I didn't know how bad my mom took it when my granny passed away, because she was the one taking care of everything, like the funeral. She was like real strong. I didn't know. I was a kid. I'm just like, okay.
Yeah.
But then, you know, slowly but surely, I started seeing things change around the house. Like, I remember one day, I'm gonna tell the story real quick. I was at school.
Yeah.
And you know, back in the day, I don't know if you know this, we used to write letters to like girls. I don't know how when you started, but we used to write letters to girls, no text messages, passing through the hallway in classes.
Yeah.
So, you know, I finally got this girl number.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh shoot, I'm about to go home. And we had house phones then. You know what that is? Okay, so we had house phones. And so I went home. I was like, ooh, you know, you get excited. I got everything set up around my room to get comfortable, because I'm like, this will be a long night of talking on the phone. Man, I picked up the phone, and it was no dial tone. I was like, okay, something going on with this phone. And then my mom, so I figured out where I get my acting ability from. It was my mama, because she played that off so cold. She was like, what? Something wrong with the phone? And she looked so concerned. I was like, yeah, Mom, you don't know what's going on? You ain't picked up the phone all day. I've been at school. Like, who you been talking to? So she was like, I'm gonna call the phone company right now. And then, not even thinking about it, like, you probably didn't think about it now. Like, you ain't even think about it now until it just hit you.
I did.
I just went in my room. I was like, okay. I was like, wait, how she gonna call the phone company? And the phone don't work.
So did you think about that?
No, I'm like, she gonna get this fixed. I was thinking about the girl that I was about to call, and how upset and how much of an opportunity I'm giving somebody else to call her right now, because I'm not calling her. She probably on the phone with some light-skinned curly-haired dude, because back then, that's when they started coming in.
Man, How old was you around this time, man? About...
I was early teenager, man. It was definitely before I started driving. I don't know. I probably was like 14, maybe. I can't remember.
And so there,
13.
So there, you were just
14.
like.
Yeah. So like, okay. So that's when it started, and then I was like, okay. But then slowly but surely, things started getting cut off in my house. Like the cable got cut off.
Yeah.
You know, all I was watching was That 70s Show. Because that was the only thing.
Came on.
What?
Yeah, you're right.
Man, food started getting scarce in the house. My mom was home more.
Yeah.
I asked her what's going on. She said it was slow at work. I didn't know she really like got let go from work.
Yeah.
You know, I'm just believing everything she's saying.
Yeah.
And, you know, this time is when she started doing the drugs. So things started getting turned off in the house. I guess she got fired from her job because she fell asleep on the job or something like that. And it was, you know, it was crazy. So it was something I had to deal with at that time. So by the time I hit 15, it was at its peak.
Yeah.
It was at its, so the year later, we didn't have water. Like, have you ever not had water?
Cold
Like,
water,
cold water. Like, you ain't had water, running water. Like, I ain't trying to make this like a sad story because I ain't trying to get to my testimony and all, but
we gonna get there.
my goodness, man, like, you don't appreciate running water till you not have it. Like, imagine like touching this table and getting your hands dirty,
Yeah.
and then trying to go wash your hand and be like, dang, the water don't turn on. Like, like that's when it really hit me, you know. So
in that, was it any like? Because a normal teenager probably would have been sad, you know what I'm saying? Probably would have resulted to the, you know, streets or something like that. Was it any of that in you, or was it just like, yo, I gotta deal with it? I figured it out.
Nah, man, I wasn't that tough. Like, I didn't just think that. Like, you know, honestly, it was a gift and a curse that my brother didn't like me. My older brother, he really wasn't messing with me like that. Because my older brother was cool, man. Like, you know, he had the looks. The girls liked him. He dressed good. Like, he was smooth. But that, can I say the N-word on here?
Yeah,
okay, that nigga, that nigga was so irresponsible. Like, he ain't mess with school. He didn't like none of that stuff. So I was the opposite. I was a nerd. I didn't even care about like how I dressed. I was just like, I used to think about everything. So he didn't like that. And he was running the streets and stuff like that. So I just didn't want to be like him. I just was like, whatever. I don't even care. So I could have ran the streets. I mean, I feel like that's what most people's options are, or that's what they think. And like, it looked good because, you know, you taking care of yourself. Everybody like you. You fly. Something was telling me, I don't know what it was, like, just keep, like, pushing through, like, you gonna figure this out. And, you know, it was getting harder and harder, man, like, but, you know, it ended up working out for me.
Yo, I think that's crazy, because I met you around when you was, like, what, 16, 15?
Yeah, you met me when I was going through it, but you didn't know.
That's what I'm saying. So how does that even, because you meet people now, they on Facebook with their problems, they, you know what I'm saying, you ask like, man, you know, and it's like, yo, how did you, you know, at that age, just when you around people, man, you just like how you are now, that's how you was then. Like, how did you do that? Like,
man,
you didn't want nobody to know, or was like,
you know, okay, so back then all we had was MySpace, so we didn't have to really worry too much about that. But no, man, I don't know, something, I always had confidence in myself, so it just was like, I really don't know, man. I think it's just, I've been asking myself this question, even like Jeremy asked me this question. He was like, man, like, I don't know how you did it. I don't know. It's like something from God, man. Like, God put something in me differently to think differently and just like persevere. And I don't know what it is. Like,
and so even in that time, were you like still able to like dream or have goals in that time?
I did, man. I always had dreams and goals, and I always moved like what I thought was a positive direction. You know what? Honestly, like, what helped me out a lot was a lot of people around me was messing up. Like, they were making all the wrong decisions, and watching them do that helped me not make the wrong decisions. Like, you know, some people will see people around them and what they do and follow. Like me, I'm like, see what people mess up at, and I'm like, okay, like, I shouldn't do it that way. Like, I should try to figure it out my way. And I messed up too along the way, but, you know, not as much as they did. Like, but I could have easily. Like, you know what I'm saying? So, and I feel I got saved. I got lucky. By the time you met me, what was I, like 16?
about it. You had the velour suits. And,
Did I? Oh, yeah.
Braids, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that was 16. Velour was 16 years of age. You know, I wore velour zipped all the way up in the summer, but you had no idea those was the only outfits I had at the time. Like, that's all I had. Yeah. But you know what though? Like, nah, because speaking of that, like honestly, that's what helped me get into like comedy and like being able to talk about people. Because I had to protect myself. Like, you ever had somebody roast you so bad that you just feel bad about your life? Like, I had friends roast me so bad. I ain't gonna get no names. So I ain't giving no credit. Nobody getting credit today. But man, I done threw away outfits because some and I didn't have many. So like the fact that I had to throw away some outfits, that was big. Like, roast me so bad, man. But now, like, you know, then I was able to hit back and like go fast, and I can do it today because of that. It's like if you can talk about somebody faster than they can talk about you, they'll stop. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So yeah.
I haven't learned that yet because you still, you know what I'm saying?
I do, man.
I'm still traumatized from when you be talking about me, but that's a whole nother story.
Man, I don't be talking about you, man. Because you was talking about my velour outfits.
No, man. I feel bad now because
don't worry about that. I felt bad for you.
Now I know a lot of stuff is starting to make sense now.
Yeah.
Because I remember my grandma had Jordan one time, and you was eating that corn one time, and man, you was like juice shooting everywhere. So now I just figured out that you know.
Yeah, man, I was hungry, man. I was just hungry. That's all that was. That was passion eating that corn right there. That was passion coming through.
Man, so now you 15, 16. You still, what are you, hooping? Or are you having? You
know, that's how I started playing basketball because I was in the house. Stuff was getting cut off.
Yeah.
I had to figure out something to do. Yeah. Like, all I had was a basketball, so I used to just dribble it down to the park and just play by myself. Mm-hmm. I didn't know I was getting better at basketball because I wasn't playing with nobody, so I was just playing, just dribbling, doing stuff. Then I started playing against people, and then, you know, I started seeing the difference. It was, like, easier for me to score and stuff like that, and I was like, oh, okay. But then one day, my pastor saw me playing basketball, which I went to this white church. It was all white.
Yeah.
And then, you know, you stand out if it's all white church.
They used to pick you up on the bus?
He used to pick me up on the bus. Yeah. I ain't gonna lie, I used to start going only because they had candy. I ain't gonna lie, they got me. They hooked me. Yeah. But I was there.
I don't know they get away with that now, man.
Man, well, you know, whatever gets you there. Like, I got the message once I got there, but like that candy is what got me there. That was the motivation.
Right.
And the motivation to get saved was the candy. My pastor was like, you know, when's your game? I want to come see you play, man. You're real good. And I told him, I was like, he was the first person I ever told my situation. I just was like, I don't play for nobody. He was like, why not? I don't know what came. I just told him.
Yeah.
And then that moment, like, changed my life. Like, he found a sponsor for me to go to that private school. Mm-hmm. It was my junior year in high school. Now, mind you, I was getting straight A's in high school. Straight A's. Like, to the point to where my homies was mad at me because I had classes with them and I'd be out kicking it with them all night. And I'd be the only one turning in my assignment. And they'd be like, how you turning your assignment? So, like, Derek used to get so mad at me, man. He's like, how you turning your assignment? Like, we was just out playing Halo all night. You got your assignment done?
Hey, so did you went to, what, Guilford?
I went to Guilford. I went to Guilford my first 3 years.
And then
I went to Berean Baptist. And then, so they paid. So he found a sponsor. Now, my fault, I was saying that because I was actually contemplating on dropping out of high school when I was a junior. Now, mind you, like, imagine getting straight A's and you like, man, I'm about to drop out. Like,
and do what, though? Like,
well, because I wasn't eating. And, like, people didn't really know that. Yeah. Like, you know, my friends used to joke about it. Like, Derek used to, he used to come out. Derek was the main one, actually. Derek is an asshole. That's what he is. He like, come over my house because I was sleeping on the floor. Like, we made a pallet, and like when he first came over my house, he realized, he was like, wait, you sleep on the floor? And when I tell you that he didn't say nothing at that moment, but when I got to school the next day, and he said that in front of everybody, he said, this nigga sleeps on the floor. I was like, oh, shoot.
That's your friend, man.
Bro, when I tell you, I was so hurt. I ain't never been so hurt in my life. And I had to play that. I had to walk away. I was just like, man, this nigga right here. But, like, that's what we did, though. We wasn't thinking. We were just like, whatever's funny, we gonna say it. We didn't imagine what somebody was really going through. Because he was fat. He was going through his own problems. I was talking about him, too. I was talking about him all the time, his fatness, but we didn't realize we changed each other's lives. Actually, like, he's skinny now. I'm bad. I'm sleeping in beds now. Like, but you know, he didn't know what I was going through. But anyways, like, I was about to drop out because I wasn't eating. But then that moment saved me because he found a sponsor for me, and I actually found the place to live because I was actually sleeping from like floor to floor. Like, nobody really knew that. Like, I was sleeping from house to house, and so I moved in with these old white people. They was like 80 years old. They was married for 50 years. I met them the day I moved in. It was this little black boy. I had a do-rag on, and they was living in the country. So, you know, they 80 at this time when I was a junior. So that was many, many years ago. So just imagine what they went through in their life. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, so, you know, I moved in with them, and we learned a lot from each other, man. Like, I learned a lot of core values from them. It's like, you know, they used to eat dinner together. I ain't never ate dinner with a family before. You know, before I ate that corn with y'all. But, like, sat down with the family, they was like, come up. Like, we sitting there. He, like, on the left side of me. His wife is across from me. Mr. and Mrs. Whitford was their names. And, like, weird, like, this teenage boy from the hood and these two older white people, like, what can we talk about? Like, it was so, but they were just, like, it was normal, like, just talking. And they were really taking me in, like, learning basically my culture and about me, and I was learning to them, like, they used to do, like, man, we just learned each other. Like, they knew I like watching sports, so when they go to bed at like 6:30 at night, which is like their bedtime, they'd leave the TV on like Sports Center. Like, his wife, like just the way they worked as a unit, I learned, because I'd never seen a marriage and like how it works like that. Like, because my mom had never been like in a marriage like that, and you know, my culture just going around, I'd never seen it work like that. So like, it was like I was mind blown. So like, she would stay home, and I'm not saying I would want it to be like, but like, she would stay home and the house was hers. Like, she took care of everything in the house. She made sure he was good. He'd just go out for the day and make the money, like work. Come home, he knew it was hers. He respected her and like what she did in the house. Like, he made sure he provided, and she like made sure he was okay. She made him breakfast, dinner. Like, it just was like a system in the way it worked, and it was happy. It was married for 50 years. Look, I can't even be in a relationship for 50 days. Like, 50 days, and they was married for 50 years. I'm like, oh my. I was like, you're not bored? I was like, you're not bored? You don't want to? You ain't never thought about?
That's my fear. I just feel like that would be boring, man.
Oh, you ain't never thought about just like seeing what something else is like? Like, I ain't want to get too descriptive. Like, you ain't never thought about? He was like, huh? I was like, never mind. Never mind, man. Never mind. I ain't trying to put no poison in your relationship right there.
So, like, I want to rewind, like, because, like, me, at times, I might have too much pride to even tell somebody, like, how you told your pastor, like, yo, this is what's up. Like, was that, how do you, like, you a humble dude, but how do you, like, come to grips, like, yo, I need help? Like, what was that like?
Well, because I didn't even tell him I need help. But, like, man, my pastor, he had a way of connecting. He was, like, looking me in my eyes, for one, like, I was like, man, stop looking at me, dude. Like, and we just sitting there, and then he just was like, he could tell something was wrong. And, you know, I just told him what I was dealing with, like, briefly, and he kind of, like, just put it really together, but I didn't really ask him for help because I didn't know what he was doing. He came back to me later with that offer. And, you know, I was hesitant, but at that time, honestly, I'm telling you, I was so broken. Like, I went through depression when I was younger. Like, nobody really knew it. You know, I think a lot of people go through depression, and a lot of people don't know it. So it's like, man, like, I didn't know what it was, and I was broken, and at that point in time, I just was like, you know, like, what can I do? Like, what else can I do?
And so you was depressed, like, while you was going through, like, you know, the home, well, you had a place to stay, but just your mom, was that why you was homeless? Or, I mean, was that why you was depressed, or was it just, like,
the whole
situation?
Everything at that, when you're depressed, it's like, I don't even think it's like a feeling. It's kind of like like a
lifestyle.
It's like a sickness.
Yeah.
In a way, and it's like, man, anything can make you like feel bad. Like, you know, you just start thinking about all types of stuff. Like I was, like my mom and them lost their house, and I didn't know where she was at. Like she didn't check for me when I didn't even tell you how I left the house. Like I left the house at the age of 15 because my mom and her boyfriend, they were on it together, and they used to fight all the time. And at this point in time, I'm bigger now, so it's like, you know, he did some real like crazy shit to my mom, and I stood up and I stood up to protect her, and it was his house. He told me I can get out of his house. Yeah. And I ain't going nowhere.
Right.
Like, you know, but then like she was so gone, bro. She was like, just go, Twan, just go. And like when I tell you, it was just really super dramatic.
Yeah.
And then when I tell you, like I looked at her, I was like, you serious?
Yeah.
And I'm trying to, you know, protect you, help you out. And she was like, just go. But then I was at the age of 15. And I left the house and I never came back. And then she never checked on me, man. And that alone made me depressed.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, damn, like your mom is supposed to be at least the person that cares about you the most.
Yeah.
And like I said, I'm not trying to make it all sentimental or whatever, and like make nobody feel bad for me. Like that's why I haven't really told nobody this story.
Well, we're gonna get to the good part too.
Yeah. So like, you know, and at that time I was going through, you know, that, and then like I would see, you know, families together. Like even when I was at church, at the white church, I would see the mom and the dad with their kids. Like seeing that is a happy sight.
Yeah.
But that made me depressed. It just was like, because I was like, man, I wish I had that. Even when I went to high school, that senior year I had, my basketball coach is the one who really like provided for me when I was in high school. Like he was rich. I didn't know he was rich. Like I figured that shit out when he took me to his house in Tennessee, and I got lost inside his house. I ain't never got lost in somebody's house ever in life. But that house was so big. And anyways, he really took care of me to the point to like, you know how you have those senior nights where you the basketball game? Yeah. So our senior night, you know, I don't know how yours was, but the parents would walk.
I didn't get a senior night, but go ahead.
You said what?
I didn't get a senior night, but go ahead. It's a long story.
I'm sorry, man. You want to talk about it? No, let's talk about your senior night.
On the previous episode,
okay.
But it's all right.
I'm going to go back and listen to that one. So the parents would walk the students out, and it was like all white people.
Yeah.
And then when it was my turn to walk out, you know, my basketball coach walked me out.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like bittersweet. Like I loved him for it, but then it was like, damn, like I ain't got none of my parents. Everybody here with their parents. So that stuff like makes you depressed. You know what I'm saying? You just start thinking about it the opposite way.
Yeah.
Instead of, you know, so I had to learn how to flip my mind and just think of things in a different way. Not like, and that's what helped me out today, actually, because I'm just coming back to today. It's like instead of thinking things like, I wish I had this. Why my life ain't like this?
Yeah.
You know, I don't deserve this. To, you know, I have this. Like just paying attention to things you do have instead of things you don't have. It'll change the chemical. It's like, you know, chemicals in your hair, your body, and it'll make you just walk around life differently and just view things in a different light. Yeah, like you more appreciative. Like I practice that every day today. I wake up every day. I'm not playing. I got this practice from somewhere. I named at least three things I'm grateful for. Even if it's the littlest things, like, you know, my legs, my brain, like, you know, or materialistic things like my car, like whatever it is, I just make sure that's the first thing I think about before I start going down a bad way.
Man, it's crazy. I'm just now learning that, man, because it's easy to focus on the negative. Like, that's the easiest thing to do. Like, damn, I don't got this, I don't got that. But once you flip, like, your mind to a positive mindset, man, everything else starts changing, man.
It does, man. You start, like, I'm telling you, like, you just react differently.
Yeah.
And then you attract different things in your life.
Right. Yeah.
When you start doing that. And that's what happened to me. I just started attracting different things, and I noticed it. And, you know, it worked out for me. But that was a real pivotal change. I don't know what would happen if my pastor wouldn't have did that day. I really don't know.
I think you still would have been all right, man. Yeah.
I would like to hope so. Like, you know what I'm saying? I feel that way, but, you know.
I got a quick question. People on the podcast probably won't even, they can probably tune this part out.
They don't even care, huh?
But this is a personal question. How did you even, like, link up with my auntie, Marquita? Cause y'all was like super cool, and you. Now I think about it, you was always around. But
So
like,
yeah, so she was the number I actually got.
oh. Yeah.
That's the number I was trying to call her. Yeah. What's the next question?
So, but you was, but it never was really like that. With that, I know.
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. It wasn't. She was super cool, man. Like she was funny.
And you was just always around. I don't understand that. Like,
well, cause y'all used to pick me up. I mean, I couldn't just come around. Like, I mean, her like we was cool. Like, I'm telling you, I was in the house all the time.
Yeah.
So like, she was a person that I used to talk to all the time.
Yeah.
I used to talk to her all the time. We used to talk about everything, and we just became like best friends. Like, like everything. So. That's pretty much how that happened.
Yeah. Cause my granny, she don't like a lot of people, man. But she showed they used to always have you over, man. So
I like your granny too, man.
Yeah.
Like she dope. Like she's super dope. She caught the Holy Ghost one time. She scared the mess out of me. She scared the mess out of me,
she
boy.
known for that, man.
Yeah, I had so much. I was scared. So the respect was at the highest level at that point in time.
Yeah.
But yeah, I miss her actually. I ain't seen her in a long time. But yeah.
Man.
Super cool. I mean, cause I guess I wasn't on that, so that's probably why she liked me. Like I wasn't trying to like, you know, get with her daughter or nothing like that. It just was like we was cool, and she probably felt that. I mean, you know, like I said, I had a good spirit, good heart, and I think people felt that. So that's why people were. If you got good intentions, man, it'll come through.
Right, it'll come.
Like you can tell when somebody like.
Awesome.
Yeah. So like you really can tell that. You can feel it.
Hey, so after high school, you finished up, you graduated from the private school.
Mm-hmm.
What was you back? What you still living with?
No, so I graduated. So I'm telling you that private school helped me out a lot, man. You know me, I mess with everybody. I joke with everybody. So I used to go into the school office and joke with the secretaries in the office, just messing around, just because. And one day it was 3 secretaries in there, and they locked me in the office.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Hey, class." He was like, "Nah, you always late anyways. You're not leaving this office till you fill out this college application."
Dang.
It's like literally, that's how it happened. So I filled out the college application. It helped me with my FAFSA.
Yeah.
It was in the middle of the school year at that time. And then, I went to college right after. And then I just kept going. And I felt like I had to, man. It was these people helping me.
Yeah.
And the irony of the thing, man, it's so crazy to me. It was like these white people helping me. Like, we in a day and age where we like white people don't like black people. I'm like, like I get it, some, and it's not even just white people. I've met some Mexicans that don't like niggas around here.
Yeah.
I ain't never met that before until I moved to California. I was like, y'all don't like us too?
Yeah.
Damn.
No, that's something I struggle with because people be like, and I'm like the black power type dude.
Yeah.
It's like, so many white people that helped me, man.
Yeah.
So it's like I can't believe every white person is like that. Like it's not even.
It's a person, man, because it's whites, it's blacks. I done seen more blacks that don't like me than whites, and I'm not saying like and I know where it comes from. It comes from pain. It comes from fucking like I don't know. You feel intimidated or something like that. But I know where it comes from. People just don't know how to deal with it.
Right.
Like, and I know they don't not like me because I'm black.
Right.
Like, but I know some white people that just don't like me because I'm black.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. But they was really good-hearted people, and is that a word? Good-hearted people. Yeah. That's them. If it's not, cut this out because I don't want to sound retarded.
Man. So anyway, so what college did you go to?
I went to River Valley College.
Yeah.
I got my degree in.
You graduated? No. No, I didn't know that for real.
I know we're on the radio, but y'all can see how I'm looking at this dude right now.
I didn't know.
You sounded so surprised.
No, because
now why did you sound so surprised?
What I'm saying is, because I'm thinking about Jeremy. I know Jeremy didn't finish, and I just.
So you gonna throw Jeremy out there like that?
I just don't remember.
Look.
He said on the podcast, so you need to go back and listen, man.
No, I did listen to this podcast.
Yeah.
I listened to it, but listen, I just want to let you know something right now. I'm not a quitter, okay? Now, I ain't saying nothing about nobody else, but I'm not a quitter.
Look, man, I'm just saying, I don't remember, seeing you with the cap and gown and nothing like that. That's all.
Nah, I didn't participate in the celebration.
Oh, okay, see?
But I graduated, yeah.
All right.
Nah, I'm messing with Jeremy, man. Nah, I'm just messing with you. Nah, everything, school ain't for everybody. I don't judge everybody for, like, not going to school, not going to school. It's just, like, whatever fits you.
Yeah.
And, No, I was on the dean's list and everything. Yeah, I killed it. I got my associates in arts and computer engineering.
Man, and so somebody told me that even back then, it was when like you was in plays and everything back then.
Yeah, nobody knew.
And you didn't tell anybody.
No, because like I didn't. Part of me felt like the support wasn't genuine.
Yeah.
Like, because I was playing basketball, nobody came to my games either.
Right.
Like, you know what I'm saying? And it was like, you know, and I was starting guard. Like, what?
Yeah.
Like, and then, you know, I just felt like I was trying to go on a different path. Like, and I didn't think people would understand. So, like, you know, nobody I knew went to plays. Nobody I knew talked about that stuff. And it just was like, you know, I don't think they understand. So, like, let me just do this.
Yeah.
And I didn't really understand it. So I didn't really understand how good I would be.
Yeah.
Because I was just starting. But the responses I was getting at that time, I wish I would have told people to come because I didn't expect to get I got really overwhelming responses. And then they kept asking me to be in stuff and do more stuff. And I was like, okay, I feel like this is what I'm supposed to do, man. Like, and I loved it, like, genuinely loved it.
Yeah. So you were getting overwhelming responses, and then it's like, is there even like, so for instance, if you would have did that in high school, like you probably.
I did it my senior year. Actually, at that high school I went to.
Or at the public school. If you would have did at the public school, I feel like.
No, yeah, I took drama class at Guilford, but I didn't do any plays.
But what if you did? Like, you would have got clowned for that? Like,
I did. I was getting clowned in drama class. Like, no, honestly, like, it was dudes. I remember my freshman year.
Yeah.
And rest in peace. He actually became a good friend of mine, but he got killed. But he was clowning me my freshman year, and we didn't like each other because he said, man, you gay. Like, because I was acting. Like, he was being cool. You know how cool kids, they don't want to do that stuff. They just like, oh, no, I'm good. But, like, I was really into that stuff.
Right.
Say, man, you gay. And, you know, me, I'm, you know, fuck you, nigga. Like, I was upset.
Right.
I ain't gay. But I just like doing this.
Yeah.
So then, you know, that kind of put in my head, too, like, everybody don't understand this. So then, me and him became super good friends, though, after that.
Yeah.
You know, so, yeah.
Hey, so, because I talked about that with a few other guests, but it's like, especially in the black community, it's not really a safe environment to like try different things, or like, especially not at first, because it's like you said, like it's looked upon as like something new or different. It's like gay, or it's like you know what I'm saying, or if you want to do art, they be like, yo, what's wrong with you? Anything but hooping or rapping, it's kind of like looked down upon. So I just think that's crazy. But
it's tough, it's tough to get past that, man.
But yeah, like you gotta like, cause dude could like messed up your whole.
He could have, yeah. And I see that happen to so many people, though.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm telling you, what happened to me was a gift and a curse. It got to the point to where I learned to only rely on myself and my instincts.
Yeah.
And I feel like had that not happened, I don't know, I probably would have been like guided in a different direction. But like, you know, my own instinct saved my life, and I was just like, I got to keep trusting it. And to this day, I still do it. Like, even if people tell me, like, even we was talking about Michael Collier earlier, like, even if he tell me sometimes, I be challenging him all the time. I be like, nah, I don't think it should be like that. I don't just blindly follow. I question. I be like, why? Yeah. That simple question alone, and when you ask why, anything, it would open up so many things. And if you really try to understand why something is a way, and you try to answer. So a lot of things that people do nowadays, they don't even know why they do it. They just feel like, so many simple things. Right. Like, they don't know why. Like, why do y'all do it? Like, something simple is, when you pull up to a light and it's a car already there, you don't pull up directly where your window is looking directly into somebody else's, right? Like, but you do it subconsciously, and it's like, why? Why do you do that? Like, why do people do that? Right. And it's like, are you afraid of people looking at you? You don't want that. You don't want to feel like you're like looking at. Like, but why do you do it? Ain't nothing wrong with it. Right. Why you don't do it? Why, when you're in the elevator, everybody look at the door?
Man, I know.
Like, why?
It's real awkward. Yeah.
Why? You do it because you think it's a thing to do, but you don't ever ask why. We blindly do things and don't know why we do it or question why. Yeah, and I got in the habit of just asking why, and those are just simple But I do it with so many things, and I'm like, why? I'm like, nah, I think it's another way. Like, maybe if I do this, and that is really what pushed me forward. Like, I think it's another way. Like, and I think that's why probably, like, you know, I'm here doing this. I'm like, no, like, I can do it. Like, why? Like, why? California's so expensive. California's so expensive. You gonna go to California? How you gonna make it? Why is it expensive? Why? Okay, so that's why. So how can I, like, not make that expensive for me? Like, how? Why are people able to live there then if it's so expensive? Oh, because some people are like this and some people do this. Okay, so when you figure that out, you're like, okay, so then I need to do this.
Right.
You know, you don't just like accept an answer. Like, oh, okay, it is expensive. I don't want to do that. Or they're on the water drought. I don't want to do that. But then how are people drinking? Like, how are people living out there? How people, like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, you ask why, and then you figure that out, and then you figure out a solution.
Yeah, and that's crazy because, like, that is the first thing people say about California is, like, especially like from Rockford or something, it's like, yo, it costs too much money to stay out there.
Right.
Like, they ain't never even been out here, so it's like...
Right, yeah. It's an opportunity to make money, too. So, like, that is a lazy mentality to me. That is so lazy. It's like, if it is expensive, you run away from it, or you figure out, like, if you want to be there, are you going to figure out how to make it happen? Or are you like, oh, it's too tough. Like, I don't even want to... That's the problem. A lot of people tend to choose the road of less resistance. Less resistance. Whatever is easier. Nah, that's too hard. I ain't gonna do that. Not me. Like, I'm gonna figure that out.
You got to. I was reading a book, Think and Grow Rich, by Napoleon Hill, and it was talking about when they had the Chicago fire, all the stores burned down. They had a meeting. It's like 4 of the stores, or the top store, they was like, man, I'm leaving. I'm going to a different town. You know, it's too hard here to start over. And one dude was like, nah, I'm going to stay, and I'm going to build the biggest store. And he turned out to be Marshall Fields, which turned into Macy's. And so it's like, yo, just try to stick it out. Even me, like, being in Atlanta, sometimes I'm like, man, I should just go back to Rockford, man, and figure it out. It's like, yo, I got to stick it out. You know what I'm saying? That's the easy route. You know what I'm saying? That's the easy thing to do. So,
but why is it easy? Like, that's that question. So, like, why is that easy? When you ask that question, it's easy because you know it. You know Rockford. You can just literally just live in Rockford and not have to really think about it because you already know it. It's hard where you at now because you got to figure shit out. And you got to, and it's like growing. It's like lifting weights. Like, it's hard to lift weights. That hurts. Like, but once you lift enough, like, you're going to get stronger and stronger. Or I'm just not lifted like that. It's easier just not to lift. Like, you ain't going to get stronger.
That's true.
Like, it's making you something you don't even see right now. I mean, you may see, like, results and stuff right now, but, like, later you're going to be like, damn, I would not have been where I am right now. Would you have been doing this if you wasn't? Who knows? Like, who knows? Like, you know what I'm saying?
No, probably not, though.
You, like, forced to, like, think differently. I read a book called, what was it called? It was about, have you ever read Rich Dad Poor Dad?
Yeah.
So that story, he was in there talking about the kid that was working for him, for the rich dad. And then the rich dad said that, I'm going to give you a job, but I'm not going to pay you nothing. And the dude was like, well, I gotta work because, like, I ain't getting no money. You need to, like, I mean, but you will be paid, you know, if you can find a way to basically pay yourself by doing the job. So basically what he was saying is, like, learn something from it. Like, learn what you're doing. Don't just think about the money, because you go to work, you think about the money. That's how you're thinking about the clock, the money. A lot of people don't pay attention to what's going around in a job and, like, how things are ran. And, like, but if you're not getting paid, you will start, like, just looking at,
forced to look around.
Everything is opening up for you. Just like, okay, like, I'm not here for just the money. Like, what am I here for? What can I get out of this? You try to get more out of it. So it's like the same exact thing. It's like, you know, when you are in Atlanta, just speaking on that, it's like, you know, you want to leave, like, or if you want to go back and it's easier, it's like, no, I'm going to stick this out, and you get to looking around, like, okay, what can I do to, like, give myself a purpose or something like that, or, like, you know, make this better. Then you'll start figuring out stuff and, like, you know what I'm saying, it'll make it easier. So I felt like going back home. I moved to Chicago and felt like I wanted to go back home because it was easier. And it was right down the street. It just was like, it'd be easier if I just went back home. And, like, I was like, nah, I'm going to stick this out and I'm going to learn from this. Here, Not too much because this is a beautiful place.
Yeah.
Like, let me tell you this. Let me be the first to tell you that this is awesome. I feel like I'm on vacation every day that I'm here. It's not as hard as people. It's not expensive to me.
Yeah.
Like, I've had the most money I've ever had in my life since I lived here.
Damn.
But like, it's because opportunity, man. Like, you just gotta take advantage of what you have around you and figure it out, and don't just accept it and take responsibility for your life. When people don't take responsibility, it's like you have control over that. Figure that out. Like, it ain't too many job opportunities. It is if you make one. Like, you know, like, don't what they give you, make your own. Like, a lot of people don't want to do that though, man. That's different in our community.
No, that's true, man. And so, going back, so you finished school, and you just, what age you finish school at? Like, college, you like, what, 21? Or you finished, it take you 4 years to?
It took me, like, I would say it took me maybe 3.
Yeah.
Because I was still broke.
Yeah.
I was working 3 jobs, though. Yeah. I was working at the shoe store, the movie theater, and I was working at the hospital. I was valeting cars in the morning. I was working 3 jobs at one time, and going to college, and kicking it with the homies. Like,
hey, that's crazy.
And kicking it with the homies.
It's crazy now I think about it, because like, I always remember seeing you around, but it's like, and you always did have a job.
Man, I had to. I had no choice. I had no safety net. I was like, if I don't have a job, I'm dead. Like, I don't know what to do. I have no home to go back to.
So
like,
you want to stand with the couple no more, the white couple?
When I graduated from high school, no, I moved out. I moved from them, and that's when I stayed with my aunt for a little bit. That's where I picked me up from on Auburn Street.
Probably.
You remember that?
Over there, yeah, I remember that,
So then,
right by IGA.
Her husband didn't like our family. So he didn't want me to stay there at all. Like, so like eventually he came down. I asked Jeremy. Jeremy was there this day. We was playing 2K. Everybody was there this day. Brandon was there. Everybody was there, man. It was so funny, man. Like, now that I look back at it, it was funny. We was in the baseball playing 2K. I was kicking ass as normal. This dude, my husband came downstairs, man, and I had this blanket that like separated, because I was sleeping in the basement. The blanket separated the basement from everything else. This nigga came down, so man, he's like trying to tear the blanket down. He was like, "You gotta go." Everybody, we paused the game. Everybody looked like, "What?" Said, "You gotta go." Yeah, you just have to go down. I was like, and we all looked at each other like, "What happened?" This wasn't the first time we was playing the game at the crib, and man, like, I was alright, man. So I packed myself. All I had was Jordans and velour suits and my video games. So we packed that up, and like, I had so many shoes, like it had to be separated to like 3 different houses, like 3 different. I was sleeping on the futon, so like, I ain't take the whole futon. We folded the mattress, the top part of it, and we stuffed it in the car. And I went to Jeremy's house, and Jeremy just told his mom, like, you know, Antwyan's staying here. She was like, all right. I was sleeping. I rolled the futon top off on the floor, and I slept on the floor. And then, you know, like, that's that thing about control. Like, I was like, okay, I can let this situation control me. I can control the situation. So I was like, you know what? I rounded, like, I talked to some of the homies, me, Jeremy, Brandon, pretty much agreed that we wanted to just live on our own. And that's when I got to searching. I found an apartment, a 3-bedroom apartment. And then me, Brandon, and Jeremy moved into a 3-bedroom apartment. Yep. Jeremy helped me out a lot, though, man. Like, I didn't have a car at one point, and this dude used to take me to work. I used to work at the... I heard him say he quit the bubblegum factory. I was there that day, and they walked out. I was like, "You just started. Where you going?" He took his hairnet off. Man, he took his hairnet off so fast. I was like, "You can't do that. It'll get in the gum. Where you going?" Like, Jeremy? He walked out.
So you was working there too, or you?
Yeah, I was working at the bubblegum factory, but man, he used to drop me off in the morning, and it was so early. He used to drop me off in the morning. When I tell you, it was like 5-something in the morning. We young. What young person is getting up at 5-something in the morning? And he didn't have to. I mean, it got to the point where he didn't want to get up. Sometimes he said, "Man, just take my car. I'll get dropped off and go pick it up later." Like. But like, yeah, man, that always resonated. I tell him about that all the time. I was like, man, I remember that stuff. Like, you didn't have to do that, but you did it. And then, like, I mean, you know, Jeremy seen it in me earlier. That's why we still cool. To this day. We think very similar, like, just outside the box and more for ourselves. But, yeah, and then we lived on our own.
And so this whole time, were you like, yo, I still want to act, or did it just you put down the back burner?
Yeah, because I was in college at this time, and that's why it took me so long to finish college.
Cause working and stuff.
And working, still trying to eat. Like, but once I graduated from college, then I got, like, you know, what we call a big boy job. So I started working for Chase Bank, not at the bank, but at the corporate office in Elgin, and like, I started making, like, really good money, like money that I haven't even seen anybody around me make before. And I was like, oh shoot. So, like, you know, man, I did what any, like, responsible person would do. I went out and bought me a Benz.
I remember that.
I bought me a Mercedes Benz. Like,
I remember that Benz.
You know, like, still sleeping on the futon, but I had a Benz, boy. I was, man.
Yeah, man. You was the first person I saw with a Benz in Rockford, I think. Man.
Yeah, it was so funny because I pulled up at my aunt's house with the uncle that kicked me out, and he didn't even believe it. Like, he just was like, how you get that? But that's crazy, though, if you think about that mindset.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's like you can't even believe that somebody can get that.
Yeah.
Like, that's how small you think.
Yeah.
That's how.
And
I recognize that. I'm like, they think way smaller than me, and I cannot be influenced by that because my mind is. I mean, I drive through Velour here. Man. Have you ever been through Velour?
Yeah, we went the other day. Yeah.
Like Velour, and then you seen the houses in it. It's stupid.
Yeah.
It's
same
like.
thing in like Buckhead area, it's the same. Like.
Yeah. Like, you don't see that in Rockford, and you see the house on the corner of Spring Creek and Alpine.
Yeah.
You see that house, you just like, that's damn. Nah, nigga, that ain't nothing. Like, that's like an outhouse compared to some of these out here.
For real though.
And I'm like, oh my God, in Brentwood where LeBron house now, man, I'm just like, oh man, this is stupid. Like, but when you don't see it, your mind can't. Yeah. You don't have the capacity to see that.
Imagine,
And then that's how they were. And I was never like that. So, like, that's how, you know, I just wasn't built like that. I don't know. So.
Dang, man. And so, you working at Chase, did you enjoy the job?
I did. I was really good at it. And then I was so good, I was top in the nation. Then
was it like a sales thing? Or?
It was collections.
Okay. Oh, so you was called.
No, not collections. It was like more like the credit card department. It wasn't necessarily collections. It was like managing those accounts and helping people, like, with those accounts and stuff like that. So another company found me in Rockford, and then I ended up working in Rockford. But then I was just steady building up. But then I lost sight of my dream. I really did, because I was making money, and it was kind of like getting me in that mode. And, like, I'm telling you, like, God always talked to me, man. He'll give me a sign. He'll give me something to let me know, like, nah, this ain't why I made you. Like, this is not why I made you.
Right.
You don't want to listen to me. I'm going to take this away from you.
Yeah.
And then you get to start, you going back to God, like, hey, God, I know it's been a while. I know it's been a while since me and you sat down and had a talk. How you been?
Yeah.
Like, how you been, stranger? Like, you hit God with that stranger text. Like, what's up, stranger?
What's up, big head?
Yeah, hey, big head. What's up? What's going on? How you been?
Yeah.
No, but, you know, and then I started reevaluating my life, man. But then, you know, some more stuff happened, you know, and then got into a relationship, real long relationship. And then, you know, I was focusing on that, which that ain't nothing wrong with that, because, you know, whatever makes you happy in life. Right. So, like, if it makes you happy, then do it. But then, you know, that just didn't work out, and then, you know, my dream reemerged again. I was just like, okay, I'm gonna just go into my dream. It keep coming up for a reason, so let me figure it out. And, you know, timing was perfect. Timing was perfect.
So did you get fired from Chase, or did you?
No, I didn't get fired. I left because another company recruited me.
That company, did you?
No, I didn't get fired.
No, you said God would take it away from you.
No, I said God would take things away from me. I started working at, it wasn't the job that God took away from me. It's just things in my life that just happen, and you just be like, But you start getting ahead of yourself. But I started working at the phone company after that. I started working at Sprint. Yeah. And then I started working for Verizon. And then with Verizon, you know, it took me to a whole nother level. Yeah. And then I bought a BMW.
I don't remember BMW. I must have been going for that.
I bought that like 2 years before I moved. Yeah, we wasn't around each other.
Yeah, I probably was in college at the time.
That was 2013.
Yeah, I was in school. Yeah.
And then now, I got my other car.
So, hold on. So you bought the Beamer, and you working at Verizon, right? And so now you like, is it like, what's your goal now? Is it just to make money, or is it to?
And that's my problem, man. I didn't like that. That was it. Like, it was just make money, and then you started getting. I call it like a rat race. You start getting in this rat race to where you just start buying things that you don't really need.
Yeah.
It's the way we conditioned with like advertisements and things that are going on around us. And I recently figured that out since I lived here.
Yeah.
Like, 'cause I'm always learning. I'm always trying to know more, man. I'm always trying to figure things out.
Yeah.
But if I could take all that stuff back, I would. I wouldn't even get that stuff. I don't really care what nobody thought or saw me with. Like, but coming from nothing and then like, you just like, man, like, what this feel like?
Yeah.
Like, everybody else looking at me like Velour suits.
Right.
What they gonna say when I got a Benz?
Right.
But then when I realized people still gonna find something, why am I doing this? Why again? Why? Oh, because I'm trying to have people look at me in a different way. I'm not trying to be something different. I'm trying to appear different.
Right.
And then once I got that answer, I'm like, fuck, like, I've been doing it wrong. Like, not completely wrong. Like, I'm still pushing forward, but it's like, I can be so much further so now, that's where my mind is. It's like, it's not about nobody else. Like, if I get something nice or have something, it's all solely for me. It's not really, I don't care about the reaction of what people say. But, and that's why, I'm more comfortable with myself than ever. And that's why, I don't know, I'm just a better artist. And then I make better decisions. I'm more into like just assets rather than liabilities. Like, I don't need something that I'm just going to pay for. I need something that's going to help me create income. And that is going to open up so much more for me.
Yeah.
And all that stuff will come later. Like, I don't really care.
So now you probably spend your money more on like what do you buy now? So somebody somehow get a lump sum of cash. What's the first thing you think about buying now? You said assets. Like, what type of?
The first thing I would think about doing is, how can I use this money to help me create more money? How can I use this money to work for me?
Mm-hmm.
Like, how can I use this money to where I don't have to be around and I'll still be making money?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So, whatever that may be.
Yeah.
Whether, like, a lot of people, real estate.
Yeah.
That's just an example. I don't know necessarily if I would do that or.
Yeah.
But real estate, eventually I will, I know, because that is just income that's going to keep coming in.
Yeah.
You need to purchase something that's going to help generate money. That way you won't have to work for money. You will have money working for you. And when that money is working for you, then you use that money to purchase what I like to call liabilities or things like that.
Yeah.
I won't purchase anything if I'm working for money. Not like that.
Yeah.
Like, you still got to purchase some things, but like the Beamer, the Benz, because I bought it in Audi as well, but like, that's what I have now, but that's before I started like really thinking the way I think now, which is fine. I'm okay with it, but like, I would wait now.
Wait to get that.
I would wait because I don't have enough money generated from my assets that will cover that.
Right.
So like, if I'm not working for money or I have to be somewhere or something like that, if I'm not able to be there, then I'd be in a really messed up situation. So, and everything's not promised. So it's like, if you can figure that out, man, if I had a message to give, that would be it. If you get money, don't worry about buying all this stuff to look like something, none of that stuff. Buy something or go into something, invest in something that's going to help create income for you. And that way, when that time comes around, like, it'll be better. You have more time. You'll be able to get more things. And even when you get that money coming in, you can use that money. I would use that money and recycle it into some more assets. And that's how the wealthy get wealthy, honestly. That's why people always say, like, people with real money don't be wearing this and look like this. They'll wear this. I mean, that's not just a saying. That's true, because they know that stuff has no value. They purchase things that creates more value, like builds their wealth. And the more you keep doing that, it's a snowball effect. Like, a lot of our culture listen to Jay-Z and like That's what he does.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, he raps about it, but it's in an entertaining way, and you think it's all about drug dealing and he just making money. But that's how he not working for the money he making.
That's true.
He is making money for him.
Right.
Like, investing in stuff. Like when you talk about the painting and the housing, the houses and stuff. Like, that's what he's talking about.
Right. So now you ended up.
That's a nice hoodie, by the way.
Thank you, man.
Real clean, man.
Thank you, man.
What's that, Ralph Lauren?
Yeah, man, something like that.
That's nice, man.
Still, anyway, man.
That's nice,
Hey, it's
man.
not about me. It's about you,
How much you make from this podcast?
Anyway, man. So
That's a nice hoodie.
So now, right now, we're in California, close to LA. How did you get here, man?
Like, how did I get here?
Yeah. So, not at this location, but how did you get from Rockford, Illinois, riding in the Beamer, to making money, to following your dream out here in LA?
I told you my focus changed. So, when I was in Rockford, I was in a relationship.
Yeah.
Once I got out of that relationship,
So do you think you could have did this if you were still in a relationship?
So yeah, that's what I was going to explain. I'm not saying that stopped me from moving here.
Yeah.
But when I was in a relationship, it was more than one person. So, I was planning for more than one person.
Right.
Once that ended, it was just only one person.
Yeah.
I was ready for one person at that point in time.
Yeah.
It just, I wasn't ready for more than one person.
Yeah.
So once that happened, it just, it was, once I realized that wasn't going to go, it just was time to go. And it was I got to go see. It's like life, man. You can think about so many things, but you got to put yourself in the position to so it can happen.
Right.
You asked me, how did I meet my homie Michael Collier? It's because I came out here.
Right.
I would never met him if I didn't come out here. I mean, I met so many people since I've been out here.
Yeah.
But I would have never done it had I stayed home and thought about being out here. And I realized that. And once things like that happen, then you start to think about different things and more things. And it, you can't think about everything like before. You can only think about where you want to be at, and you could plan the steps. But it's going to change once you start moving and start learning and realizing things and meeting people, and then you have to adjust and keep going. So that's what I'm saying. It's not going to be a perfect situation for somebody to make a decision. I got to wait to this. I got to wait till I'm this. I got to wait to this.
Yeah.
No, you're never going to do it.
Yeah.
And so a lot of people accumulate them liabilities, and I got to wait till I pay this off and pay that off. Stop accumulating liabilities and, just go.
Right.
Do it. So,
And so, talk about the story when you said you had multiple people planning to come, when you talked about not the relationship but your friends, everybody wanted to come.
Yeah.
But only you really came, right?
Well, Stetson came a month after I did.
Yeah.
I mean, we didn't stay together. We stay on two separate sides of LA, and that's living in a whole different place.
I already know.
We didn't even really see each other, honestly. But everybody else moved to different places. As we got older, we all moved. We said we would, not we all, but the main, Jeremy moved to Houston. Brandon moved to Dallas.
Yeah.
Stetson was already in Dallas.
Yeah.
Asia was in Dallas. Glove moved out here. I moved out here in August of that year, 2015, and Glove moved out here November.
So moving out here, were you nervous coming to?
Nah, I was conditioned for it already.
Yeah.
Life, I wasn't living at home. I was already living on my own, figuring things out. That helped me out a lot. I wasn't. A lot of people tell me that, even people, my friends here. I don't know how you did that. You ain't got no family, no nothing out here. I don't know how I wouldn't be. And I never really thought about it like that. I just was shit, I really didn't have it like that when I was at home.
Right,
so it was it was normal.
Right.
But yeah, that would have been hard, if I was used to that, yeah.
And so, what is it like? So you in LA, you pursuing acting, and you look at the numbers, you see, the stories, man, people come out here to act, and they end up on the side of the road, or people come out to act, and they just never make it. Do you just remove those thoughts, or those never even came to your head?
Well, I never heard of anybody that was just like me.
Yeah. Okay.
Like, you can't think about that,
Right,
man.
right.
Like, none of them are like me. I can't say, like, oh, well, this person didn't do it. Like, man, I hear stuff in my acting classes all the time because I take classes at Richard Lawson Studios, which is, you know what Richard Lawson is?
Nah, I just remember Richard Lawson from Brown Sugar.
Was he on Brown Sugar? He was on every Brown movie, I feel like.
No, when
Oh, it was a character name?
yeah, when dude pulled up on his wife at dinner, he's like, "Oh, Richard Lawson."
Oh, Lord, it probably was him. Like, I don't know, but it's
Richard Lawson, man.
Richard Lawson. He was in a lot of black people movies, but he's Beyonce's stepdad.
Oh, I know you're talking about. He was,
Every time I say that, everybody knows it. He was Joe Jackson.
Joe Jackson.
He was
yeah,
Joe Jackson.
Joe Jackson. Yeah, I know Joe
Joe
Jackson.
Jackson.
Yeah. I was thinking about that when we was driving down.
Did you see my roast I did on him?
Yeah, I did.
Like, that's what I thought. I was serious at the beginning. I was like, I ain't know nothing about you. So I had to go Google you. Realized you was Beyonce's stepdad. I was like, oh. I told her, I was like, do you feel good? Like, like that's what people recognize you as? Like, you've been in the game you've been teaching for 40 years. You've been teaching for longer than she's been alive. And, like, that's funny. No, but, anyways. What was I saying?
No, you ain't met nobody. You hear a lot of stories in your acting class.
Yeah, he's been teaching for 40 years, and he tells me, like, he talks about a lot of the actors, famous actors that he's taught, like George Clooney, and he said it was like somebody sitting right next to him that was better than him, but never made it. And I hear that story so many times. It's so many actors that have been better than these top actors. They don't make it because it's not about that. It's about your perseverance. It's about you, like, being like water, pretty much being able to form with whatever's going on. You take everything with humor and good humor and flexibility. So, you know, don't take it too personal. Learn how to move with things and figure things out as you go. And I've been doing that my whole life. So, like, it's like some people will hit something and be like, and give up and quit and like, just, I can't get it. It's too hard. I talk to people like that all the time. I find myself motivating people. You ever had to motivate somebody, but then it motivates you too? Because it's kind of like, like you talk to them about it, then you really like, man, like, so that's how it is, really. It's kind of like, just keep pushing through. It's going to work.
And so, you've been out here how long? About?
It'll be 3 years in August. 3 years.
And now, your goal is what, being out here?
My goal?
Yeah.
Shit, man, why you didn't tell me this question beforehand? That's a loaded question. No, my goal being here is to continue to grow in my profession and my career. I don't know if I'm gonna live here forever. It's too much here, man. It's crazy. But that's my goal, is to grow as much as I can here as a person, as a human being. Like, even outside of acting, just like, you know, continue to just discover and figure out with myself and live in my purpose. Trying to live in my purpose, man.
Man, that's what, you know, this podcast is about, man. Helping people like me, you know, millennials or whoever, somebody going through transition, help them find a purpose, help them live in their purpose, you know, give them some tools. And so we usually end the podcast with the question. It's kind of like a reflection. Like where you were at, you know, in your millennial years. I think you still technically probably a millennial, but
I'm a millennial.
Okay.
You don't see this shirt?
Anyway,
this shirt small. I wore this on purpose.
Anyway,
see my muscles.
The question we usually ask is, what would you tell 21-year-old Antwyan?
Well, this is one girl I shouldn't have messed with. I would definitely tell him to leave her alone. Don't do it. That and 21-year-old. Was I doing that 21 years old? Damn, that's a good question. Because I would say don't give up, but I haven't given up, and I would say push through. I would say. I would have told myself to leave earlier.
Leave rough early?
Yeah, I thought I heard something. I didn't know if that was that. I would say leave early. I would say don't put my dream on hold. Just go for it. 'Cause I feel like I would have figured it out. I would have figured it out.
That's a good one, man. Man, I appreciate you. You know what I'm saying? You made me, you inspired me, just by doing this interview, man. You just being out here, man, I
you
appreciate
inspire me, man. Like, I know this ain't about you, but you do. I mean, I'm proud of you, man. I remember you was trying to unlock hot sauce on NBA Street. You was trying to unlock hot sauce. Can you unlock hot sauce for me, Twan? I was like, man, dang, man, did I just unlock him for you? Nah, man, can you unlock him again? No, seriously, man. Y'all think I'm playing. This is for real. Nah, man, you do, man. I'm proud of you, man, because you from the same place I'm from. I don't know how you are able to think outside of that as well.
Yeah.
Like, for real, because that's tough.
Yeah.
There's so many things there that would just make you be like, man, like, it's not possible. This can't happen. Like, I'm not supposed to be doing that. I'm supposed to be working at Chrysler. Not that I got anything against anybody working at Chrysler, but I'm saying it's easy to fall into that mindset of like, this is where, this is when you made it. You made it here when you were in the paint department. Like, for real.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm proud of you, man. Keep pushing. That's dope, man. I know you ain't done, man.
Thank you, man.
For sure, man.
That's all I got.
Wait, I can't get off. I talk about your head.
Oh,
like,
hey, that's enough. Hey, thank you for tuning in to the podcast. Thank you. Yo, so that was it. That was my boy Antwyan, man. We had a dope conversation, man. One thing that really stuck out to me and that, made me look at things different was just the way that he was able to navigate his whole situation, with his mom and just being by himself, and how he transferred that into his everyday life and how he flips his negatives into positives. And that's kind of been a theme with pretty much everybody that I've interviewed. It's like, really starts in your mind. It's your thoughts. Your thoughts become things. So just pay attention to that this week, or whenever you listen to this. Note this down. Jot this down. Your thoughts become things. So be aware that, remove those negative thoughts, replace them with positive thoughts. I know it's easier said than done, but just try it, man. Just try it. But once again, man, thanks for tuning in. We got more dope guests coming. I really appreciate you guys. Just pass the podcast along, share with somebody. Go subscribe, all that, man. Appreciate you. Have a good week. Peace out.